All right, y'all. I had to hop up and get to it. I open up my cell phone, open up the app, and I see my wife. We got to listen to what she's talking about. This video is titled Drake Worked with Best Friends to Do Some Different Type Things. The Dark Disturbing Ties Exposed. Let's check out what Tisa Tales is talking about. Let's see what we can learn about the situation, y'all. Um, I wasn't invested in it. I was not invested in it at first, but I do have to admit it's interesting now. Anyway, let's check it out.
Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Baby, you already know
Feeling
the
her
deal.
shirt.
Sit down. We'll talk about it later. Baby, if you are Kendrick Lamar, you are exposing Drake drip by drip, beat by beat. Now, listen, if y'all didn't know, Drake got a secret Twitter. We found the actual court documents. He's been paying a mystery woman
15 Renex a month. Yeah, we'll get into it later. Hold on, let's go.
Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Baby, you already know the deal. Sit down. We'll talk about it later. Baby, if you are Kendrick Lamar, you are exposing Drake drip by drip, beat by beat. Now, listen, if y'all didn't know, Drake got a secret Twitter. We found the actual court documents. He's been paying a mystery woman $15K a month in 2019 in child support while they were trying to work out the paternity situation.
Only 15K. That's it. 15K.
Situation. Go watch that video if you want details on the mother, the child, and all that stuff. But baby, some of y'all think, Tisa, why don't you talk about more important things? Baby, let me cook. Because now we get into more important things. Y'all, Drake has been exposed of being involved with a blank trafficking ring that not only started in Canada, it might have been to the USA. Here's the thing, because baby, we about to drop some real receipts. Not only that, Drake is super tight and close with a known blanketer and actually even celebrated their release. Baby, we got the details on that. On top of that, can we talk about how around the time that this all happened, Drake mysteriously started selling all of his U.S. properties off? Now, we know it's not...
All right, now. Excuse this big old bump on my face, y'all. Oh my God, it's huge. I almost didn't get on camera. Anyway, this is Drake's homeboy right here. Baka Not Nice. He had that stupid song a while back. Yeah, he's labeled himself Drake's goon. Now, this real estate thing. Star rapper Drake has listed his 20-acre Beverly Hills estate for a staggering $88 million. His last U.S. property. Here's how to sell a high-priced home in a down market. Drake may well be leaving the USA for good after listing his Beverly Hills mega mansion for a whopping $88 million. Come on, man. Now let's see what else we can find. Yeah, they're all the same ones. His final U.S. property, y'all. So in other words, he's just strictly a Canadian citizen. Okay. Are they in cahoots with our country as far as extraditional type treaties? That's a good question. I would assume they are. I'm not going to get too far into it, but let's go.
Not because he's broke. Why is that? Because like Kendrick said, the feds have been investigating him for a minute. And I know Drake thought maybe he was slick, because you know that if you sue someone who is not an American and they, let's just say, do a Russell Simmons and run the valley doing yoga and whatnot, you know that if you have any assets in America, the court can literally attach whatever the whatever the award was, they can attach that bill to your properties, force to sell your properties, and then your victims get paid. Now, I'm not saying that's what's going on. I am saying something was going on, y'all.
I don't know if y'all peeped my last upload, but go check it out with Drake and his hot new date.
Get into this because, baby, you can't make this stuff up. Now, if you guys don't know, I just want to say this really quick before we get into the actual receipts of how Drake actually is involved, baby. He is being exposed as a creep in the first order, okay? Thomas Delaney on Twitter said, y'all skipped that blank offenders on payroll. That's Baka, his security guard, that not only did he celebrate, but he was his main person doing all that stuff, right?
All right, so I'm going to let her cook.
Right? We're going to get into that. Drake popping peas. Drake having blank trafficking. Drake being an escort. Drake finna get raided, but picked out a daughter. Really? Baby, let us cook. It's little steps. We like to lead up just like Kendrick did the slow leak. That's what's wrong with y'all. Some of y'all don't, not y'all, but the people in the back, y'all don't have patience. Y'all the people that go read a book. Can we skip to the last part? Y'all sit in a movie. What is going on? Tell a joke. Can you hurry up, baby? Just like Kendrick did with the 1, 2, 3. Hit him with the Hit him with the baby. That's what we're doing too. Learn to appreciate the slow simmer.
And another
All right?
Slow simmer.
We got even more information off of listen. So here's the thing. Before we let's talk about who Baka Nice is, and then we're gonna talk about all the stuff with Baka, because baby, you can't make this up. And it is gonna make you look at Drake so weird if you already don't know this mess. Some of y'all might know, good for you. We talking for the people that actually do know, okay? This was in every single newspaper, but members of Drake's entourage were found guilty of assaulting a woman, sentenced to 6 months in jail.
All right, now, who is Baka Not Nice? Now, everything you need to know. Baka Not Nice, who is he? Baka, real name, has been buzzing for a minute now. A recent increase in his musical activity signifies that the big things are about to pop off. He made some song, whatever, I forgot the name of the song. Anyway, he's Drake's former security guard. He made it known that he was one of his goons. Now, let's see, they say here we go. He was arrested for trafficking and, the A word. Anyway, 2014, when Drake was working on If You're Reading This, It's Too Late, Baka was arrested on several charges, including HT. While it's difficult to obtain concrete details about the case, Baka was initially accused of allegedly forcing a 22-year-old woman to hit the strip. Yeah. That's crazy. I'm sure Drizzy knew about it. Anyway, 2015, he pleaded guilty for assaulting the undisclosed woman. Now, let's see what else we can find. Okay, and it was over some burned French fries because dude was passed out. She began to chastise him, in which led Baka to push her to the floor. Now, the Toronto Sun reports that the HT in procuring for putting them out on a strip charges were eventually dropped when the woman in question spoke to police and ultimately refused to testify. Somebody's gonna take control of that. Drake days are numbered. Now, Drake celebrated his release on Instagram. When Baka was in jail, Drake gave him a shout out on a new song, Know Yourself, rapping, I might declare it a holiday as soon as Baka get back on the road. Yeah, here's a link I think they got. Oh, it's unavailable. Imagine that. Anyway, June 27, 2017, Baka joined the OVO family. Let's see if they got anything else. Yeah, that's about it. Let's get back to Tisa. Those are my little receipts.
However, it's not over. Because if you guys don't know, Baka Not Nice, whose real name is Travis Savory, pleaded guilty to assaulting his on-again, off-again girlfriend, who is 22 years old.
Yeah.
Hold on, we working up. We're burning in the oven. Is currently reportedly part of Drake's entourage as security for events in Toronto. Drake also recently supported Baka when he was released from prison back in April after serving time for a human blanketing and assault. Drake declared the day a celebratory holiday. He says something in the air today. A lot of good things happening at once, but this one means the most. Been waiting 11 months. Baka finally home. He wrote on Instagram. Now, hold on, y'all. Let me pull this whole article up. Now, I gotta be real with y'all. Remember when Kendrick was talking about how he about to get raided by Diddy? Why would that be? Because while he was arrested for prostitution and human blanketing, right? Those charges were dropped. Now, why were they dropped? A lot of people said that Drake, who rolls around with Jay Prince, and he thinks he's a little Canadian thug, and all his men seem to be super grimy, they put pressure. Here is what was officially reported, okay? So Baka was credited with background vocals on Drake's Nothing Was the Same. It is Drake's mansion, the weird things that happen. What has been well known on Canadian Twitter, or at least circulated Canadian Twitter and Canadian TikTok, the things that happen in Drake's mansion, the weird things that happen. What's Drake's into, okay? Now, the Crown Attorney, Catherine Rogozinski, told Justice Antonio Di Zoe that the alleged victim of the blank trafficking and prostitution charges spoke to the Popo and indicated she didn't want to testify in the proceedings. She said she hasn't had...
Was she bullied or paid? I'm not saying it happened. It's a possibility, hell. Was she bullied or paid, or both?
Had any contact with the accused and wasn't pressured not to testify. The woman moved, hadn't informed the police of her new address. She hadn't been subpoenaed to testify because police couldn't locate her. People are saying that Drake paid that girl off to go bye-bye.
Now, what about if someone higher picks that up? Was it federal, or I don't know what it was, but can he get picked up?
Along with some other pressure, right? Anyway, Anyway, 22 years old, he's 37. That's sick already, but whatever, right? They're saying after he pushed her down, she literally was crying unconsolable. She said that they had been involved in an on-again, off-again relationship for several months, but the relationship was definitely over. Again, say what you want about Drake, but all this news is coming out. Now, what do you believe? That the police just made up these charges? But does that mean all the girls gossiping on OVO Twitter is also making up things? Baby, Drake is about to be completely exposed. And baby, I'm here for it. And if you don't know, people are saying that Kendrick Lamar has 3 more tracks set to lay out even more information. Listen, he should have listened when Kendrick told him to leave him alone. But baby, Kendrick been holding on to this, ready to release. And baby, we are here for it. Listen, I'm dropping a lot of videos about Drake today. Make sure you turn your notifications on.
All right, so here's some audio about the alleged BM. I don't know if I want to.
A lady by
Mom taught me how to fly.
Gayson is pregnant. She says Drake is the father. Back in February, Drake sent a friend to her Instagram page to meet up. When Nancy was giving Drake some controversial blown out in London, eventually they did the damn thing. After their rendezvous, things seemed to be okay. However, in March, it was revealed to Drake that she was pregnant. He went ghost. On her Instagram, she went really deep.
It's playing like that for a reason. I don't need a million comments. I was, hey, is that going? Hey, is that going? Yeah. Listen. $15,000 a month for this alleged child support. Child support. Interesting. This whole thing has opened up a can of worms, though. And it's real. It's real. I don't know this time if I'm going to connect this to how everything started, but I don't know. I think I am.
I woke up to find out Drake passed last night, and it wasn't a peaceful departure. Before Kendrick's prosecuted, the one person who could have stopped this murder before it even occurred didn't step in, and he needs to be brought to the front of the congregation, and that man's name is Jay Prince. Prince stepped in last time Aubrey stepped in this mess with Pusha T, because Pusha was not done. He was just charging up. I'm thinking Jay Prince didn't step in this time because it's not really worth it. His investment ain't paying off like it was before, and it's time to let the motherfucker go. Drake is a black man. Nobody's refuting that fact, but the other facts still stand. He was raised in the Jewish community in Canada. When he started cosplaying as a black American, that's when we should have got him the fuck up out of here.
Keep it Canadian, man.
It was no different from what the fuck Miley Cyrus goofy ass was doing. Meet the Grams wasn't just a song. It was a therapy session to this man's entire fucking bloodline. It's over. He DMing little girls, putting them on layaway, and paying them off when he can't wait. And women still support this dude. Bitches.
Let me tell you why Kendrick and a whole bunch of other major artists really don't like Drake. As you can see, Kanye said it pretty perfectly a couple years ago in a remix, saying, "Where's Lucian? Serve your master what? You caught a little bag for your masters, didn't you? Lifetime deal, I feel bad for what?" That would be this man right here, Mr. Lucian Grange. The reason why Abel Tesfaye, aka The Weeknd, is in the position of which he is. Which, let me say, this is for educational purposes only. But what if I told you there's a very dark history behind Lucian, and that even Lucian himself has a puppet master? Let's keep in mind, Lucian is the chairman and chief executive officer of Universal Music Group. Oh yeah, the same exact one that's bringing its music back to TikTok. Let's keep in mind before I go any further though, Mr. Lucian Grange is under pressure from a lot of allegations. Allegations of sponsoring and financing every single one of P. Diddy's parties. Every single party of where P. Diddy's allegations in themselves originate from. Saying that Lucian aided and abetted Combs' behavior by sponsoring gatherings and provided vast sums of money to Combs, who allegedly used it for what? But like I said, the music industry is very dark, and there's always another puppet master. But this is Mr. Leor Cohen. How do you think Lucian Grange got that position to begin with? Oh, you guessed it, aka the tall Israeli. And of course, Leor Cohen is a global head of music at Google and YouTube. But this man is a very high authority figure in the music industry. Because let's keep in mind, Cohen worked on the label side of the music industry at companies including Warner Music, Def Jam, Island Def Jam, and 300 Entertainment. But do keep in mind, Leor Cohen in himself is somebody that Tupac and himself was sketched out about. And ironically, not even 2 years after Tupac's death, in 1998 and 1999, Cohen brokered the deal to sell Def Jam to Universal, creating the Island Def Jam music group, which combined Def Jam, Mercury, and Island Records. And as you can see at the time, artists under his watch at Island Def Jam included none other than Jay-Z, Bon Jovi, Ludacris, and Mariah Carey, just to name a few. All very sketchy artists, but like I said, Minister Leor Cohen himself is the victim of many allegations, including from a CIA agent that confessed the agency's created rap music to fill private prisons. Mr. John Homestead, a retired CIA agent, has admitted on national Russian television that hip-hop was a psyop invented by the CIA in the 1980s, and the agency has directed and financed household name artists including NWA, Dr. Dre, Jay-Z, and Kanye West. Kanye tried to tell everybody about this years ago. And of course, nobody wanted to listen. But John Homestead said that our mission was to use teenage angst to our advantage and turn Generation X into a decadent, pro-drug, and anti-establishment culture that would create uprisings and further division within society, saying that the CIA even infiltrated mainstream radio to promote their music and reach millions of people every day. He also says when it comes to engineering culture, no one touches Leor Cohen. Homestead admitted Leor Cohen, also known as the tall Israeli who runs hip-hop, used specific artists like these, I'm sure everybody knows who all of these people are, to gain specific influence in society. See, like it says here, Cohen ended up promoting rappers such as Jay-Z and Kanye West, and more recently brought Migos and Young Thug to prominence. Well, obviously Kanye knew what he was talking about. But see, Kanye himself, alongside John Homestead, stated that the elites have been slowly working on eroding social norms for decades, and forcing famous black men to normalize the sight of men in dresses was a part of the agenda. And here's the thing, right? A music industry executive who was present at the first meeting between the CIA and music industry executives has written a confessional letter detailing exactly what went down on that fateful day, in a specific video that is no longer available online. Yeah, I'm sure that's not sketchy in itself, right? Or the fact that John Homestead said that the CIA worked in tandem with music industry elite to create a funnel in which young people would be indoctrinated with brainwashing gangster rap music, and then delivered to the highly profitable private prison system. In order to create this funnel, the CIA introduced music industry owners to the private prison industry. See, that's where Time Warner comes in, because let's keep in mind, like I stated at the beginning of this video, Leor Cohen himself was a very high authority figure at Time Warner. And as you can see, some of the biggest names in the music industry are in cahoots with private prison owners. And as you can see in 2021, CoreCivic, formerly known as Corrections Corporation of America, the biggest name in the private prisons industry, contacted 48 states offering to buy their prisons. See, there was one particular requirement of eligibility for the deal, saying that an assurance by the agency partner that the agency has sufficient inmate population to maintain a 90% occupancy rate over the term of the contract. And here's the sketchy part that this article paints very well, right? In the year 2012, a mere 232 media executives in the US were responsible for controlling all avenues necessary to manufacture any celebrity and spark any trend. And of course, Time Warner, as the owner of Warner Brothers Records, could not only sign an artist, but since they are also the owners of Entertainment Weekly, they can also put an artist on the cover of magazines by next week. Like it says right here, you think you choose what you listen to, but do you really? Here's the most important part that this article paints very well. BET and MTV are owned by Viacom. When ownerships of these mass media conglomerates is cross-checked with the biggest names in private prison ownership, the largest owner of course Civic, like I just named, formerly Corrections Corporation of America, is none other than Vanguard Group Incorporated. The corporation that works very closely with BlackRock and Larry Fink. You know, the corporation who basically has the highest shares in every single major corporation that resides out of America? Yeah, that one. Vanguard is the #1 shareholder in both Viacom and Time Warner. Vanguard is also the largest holder in the GEO Group, the second largest owner of private prisons in the entire USA. Like it says here, the people who own the media and are responsible for putting gangster rap at the center of youth culture are the very same people who own private prisons. So you tell me why this deal is a problem. And you tell me why major artists really don't like Drake. Because I'm pretty sure it's obvious at this point. Drake is what you would call a sellout, and Kendrick truly knows how the industry runs. But you keep allowing yourself to be consumed by those frequencies.
It looks like Drake has a response to the recent Kendrick Lamar diss where he references the possibility that Drake has a secret daughter that might be like 10, 11 years old. So if you've been under a rock, there's been back and forth between Drake and Kendrick in song, which I can appreciate. For me, this has probably reinvigorated music in general, not just hip hop. And whoa, you got a new fan to me, Kendrick, because the way that you slid on Euphoria and then literally 30-something minutes later, you dropped the Meet the Grams right after Drake dropped Family Matters? What? So Drake dropped this on his Instagram story asking for anyone to find his secret daughter, his hidden daughter, please. And he says that these folks are in shambles. Are these folks in shambles? Or are you? What do you guys think? Who do you think won this battle, but the war?
If you have been wondering what the hell is going on between Kendrick Lamar and Drake, I got you. I'm gonna break it down for you in like a couple minutes. In 2011, Drake drops his probably best album, Take Care. He has a feature with Kendrick on that album titled Buried Alive. But at the time, Kendrick was very up and coming and Drake was on his second album. In 2012, Drake would go on to ask Kendrick and A$AP Rocky, who he now also has beef with, to be his opening acts on tour. In 2013, Kendrick is featured on the song Control with Big Sean, where he calls out a lot of the big names in rap and pretty much says, hey, I got a lot of love for y'all, but I'm trying to unalive y'all. And Drake and Big Sean were two of the names that he calls out. Later that year, Kendrick comes for Drake again at the BET Awards Cypher, where he says, nothing's been the same since I dropped Control, and tucked a sensitive rapper back into his pajama clothes, and then also calls Drake a fake. In October 2023, Drake and J. Cole link up for the song called First Shooter. In J. Cole's verse, J. Cole says, I love when they argue who's the hardest MC. Is it K-Dot? Is it Aubrey? Or is it me? And if you didn't know, K-Dot was Kendrick Lamar's original stage name before he was Kendrick Lamar. J. Cole also says, we the big three like we started the league. In March of this year, Kendrick is featured on a song called Like That with Future and Metro Boomin, where he says, MFing big three, it's just me. Basically saying, big three who? In April, Drake would go on to release his first diss track called Push Up. In the song, he basically clowns Kendrick for being 5'5". He also brings up Lamar's previous record label, Top Dog, saying, Top Dog told you drop it, give me 50 like it's push-ups, but what he's referring to is like 50% of all of his earnings go to the label. Drake drops another diss track called Taylor Made Freestyle. In the song, he suggests that Kendrick is likely waiting for Taylor's new album to drop so that he could then drop his diss track. Now, if y'all remember, Kendrick's first #1 was actually featuring on Taylor Swift's Bad Blood, and Drake suggests that Taylor is basically Kendrick's new Top Dog. Kendrick hits back with the song called Euphoria. In it, he calls out Drake's alleged plastic surgery. He comes for Drake's skin color, asking how many more black features do you need to feel black enough? And he also calls out Drake and his label, saying that they submitted a cease and desist to try to get the song Like That Kendrick originally made off the radio. Just yesterday, Kendrick then drops a response. In the song, he asks Drake if he's ever considered that someone on Drake's label OVO is working for him. And he also calls out Drake for paying to get info on Kendrick. The same day, Drake comes out with the song called Family Matters. He calls out Kendrick for being a fake activist. He also questions why Kendrick would call him out on his skin color when his long-term partner is a mixed queen. And Drake is mixed too. He also alleges that Kendrick has hit his partner, asking, when you hit a girl, is it self-defense because she's taller than you? saying that Kendrick had to hire a crisis management team after finding out about her infidelity and hitting her. And literally just minutes later, Kendrick responds with a song called Meet the Grams, where he does 4 different verses. One is addressed to Adonis, Drake's son, one is addressed to Sandra, Drake's mom, one is addressed to Drake, and another verse is addressed to this baby girl who is 11 years old, who is allegedly also Drake's daughter, who he never sees, has never spoken publicly about. He calls out Drake for allegedly having offenders of the Nicki Minaj's husband type on payroll. It is brutal. He calls Drake a deadbeat, an alcoholic, a user of substances. He tells Adonis, don't cut corners like your daddy did, F.O. Zempic. And in addressing that daughter that Drake has never spoken about, he says that instead of being with her on her 11th birthday, Drake is out in Turks and Caicos paying for physical activity with women. Oh, and he also calls out Drake for hiding other children besides those 2. And that is all the beef we have so far. I'm here for it. I can't wait to see what comes next. But also, can we just talk about how every time Drake gets into beef with someone, he gains another love child?
The biggest artist in the world was behind the demise of this other man.
Drake killed XXX. Now, you may have seen there's been this theory going around all over social media the last few weeks, and it is absolutely mental. The theory is that after all these years, Drake is the one that was behind what happened to X. Now, let's have a look. Why do people believe this? Now, a long time ago, X posted this on his story, and I mean, that's sus. Then there are some lyrics from Drake in some of his songs which also are very sus. Have a read of the highlighted part right here. There was also another Drake lyric which said, if you held your tongue, you'd still be alive. Now, it's been clear for a long time that the two never really got along, and in posting this a while ago is extremely weird. Now, what happened to X was tragic, and it was probably just the robbery gone wrong. But there are a lot of people that believe it was actually Drake. Now, a lot of these rappers do have affiliation with gangs and stuff, so it's not impossible that this did happen. But, I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below what you think, and hit that follow button.
Don't forget to like and follow, and stay weird.